Okay, so yeah, new construction is pretty difficult to find in Gilbert. We just don't have a lot of it, and most of it is going to be on the south side of town. So you're going to be a little bit more on the outskirts of Phoenix Metro. But the thing is, is we actually have a brand new community. It's going to be a boutique community, pretty small, on more of the northwest side. So if you want to be more central in the Phoenix Metro area, maybe you have to commute to like Tempe or Phoenix, what have you, or you want to get to the airport regularly, this is definitely, one of the best options. And we really just don't see new construction. So it's a bit of a gem. It's a unicorn. And they just started breaking ground on it. So there's still opportunity to get into it. And if you don't know me, I am Courtney Strzelczyk. I'm a local real estate agent here in the East Valley. I actually live in Gilbert. And my goal for this channel is really just to show you guys what life is like here realistically. The good, the bad, and the ugly. No place is perfect. I moved here 10 years ago. Hated it when I first moved here, but I fell in love with this area so much. So hopefully can give you some good insight. So go ahead and follow along, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, I'll keep you up to date. Okay, so let's talk about location, because in my opinion, I think that's the best part of this neighborhood. So like I said, you're on the northwest side, and the neighborhood is actually directly next to Freestone Park, the lovely park we're in right now. You can actually, there's a private walking trail out of the neighborhood, and then there is a crosswalk, so you can literally, it's like a stone's throw away. You can get over here really quickly. It's a really big park. There's like a rec center. There's a lot of like soccer fields, playgrounds. There's even like a little mini amusement park. It's more for like young kids, like maybe preschool age. A lot of cool things, skate park as well. A really great city park. And then the other really cool thing about this location is it backs up to the Powerline Trail, and the Powerline Trail, if you want to go on a bike or run, actually is a great place to go. But it will actually take you, if you go directly west, it will spit you out into downtown Gilbert. It's less than a mile. I think it's like 0.8 miles. And you don't have to cross any streets or deal with any traffic. So if you're like walking with your kids or they're riding their bike or something, really easy to get to. And then just for orientation, in the Phoenix metro area, it would be about probably like 22 to 25 minutes without traffic to get to the airport. Central Phoenix is going to be, 25 to 30 minutes. And then Scottsdale will be, if you're on the south side, like Old Town, that will be about 25 minutes. So the builder for this community, it's Woodside Homes. And like I said, pretty small, only about 10 homes total, or there will be 10 homes total. And the lot sizes for these, they're, for Gilbert standards, pretty good. They're going to be about a quarter acre. Some are a little bit bigger, some are a little bit smaller, just depends on the orientation of where you'll be. And it's all in a cul-de-sac, so there's no through traffic, which is great. It's pretty deep inside the block too, so you aren't gonna have like random people coming in and out of the neighborhood, which is very nice. It's gonna be pretty private. And if you're like, a quarter acre means nothing to me, I don't know how much space that's gonna be. It depends if you do a 1-story or 2-story option, but you should have plenty of room for a pool, some green space, maybe like an entertainment area or like a pergola, something like that. Not fitting like a football field or a pickleball court in your backyard, but still pretty good amount of space. And as far as the floor plans, there's 3 different options you can pick from. One is a ranch style single level option, and then the other 2 are 2-story. And it just depends what you want. But like I mentioned a moment ago, if you do go for a 2-story option, you will have a larger backyard. But I know some people do have the preference of a single level home. I mean, this can be a little bit nicer for electric bills depending. So it just depends what you want. These are going to be bigger homes too. They're going to be between 3,000 and 4,000 square feet. Bedrooms, it depends on how you orient your floor plan and so forth, but a lot of them are going to be like 4 to 5 bedrooms, some bonus spaces, and then the bathrooms are going to be 1 floor plan actually had an option for 5.5 bathrooms. A lot of cleaning, but maybe you need it. Oh, and the other thing, most of them, or you're going to either have 3 cars or you have an option for a 4-car garage. So if you are looking for a little bit more garage space, which we don't see a lot unless you're like on a bigger lot, this is definitely a good option. And pricing, one of the most important topics. So this is their base price. I know they said it was in the low millions in a lot of their advertising. It's actually going to be 1.2 to like 1.3 for the base price. Something to consider, and this applies for all builders, not just Woodside, but when they put the base price, that's the starting price. So as soon as you start picking out flooring and cabinets and countertops, it's going to add on top of that base price. I typically tell my clients to anticipate 10 to 15%. depends on the builder again. Some builders, it's not going to be quite as much. But then if you want all the bells and whistles, I mean, I've seen some where it's been easily over 20%. So just something to think about when you see that base price for any neighborhood, just kind of add on an additional 10-15% just to be safe. And I know a lot of people will ask me when they're looking at new construction, they're like, Courtney, is this a good builder? And in my experience, and also talking to a lot of inspectors, other sales reps that actually work for these builders, usually what's more important than the builder name like Woodside or let's say Taylor Morrison, something like that, is the actual superintendent for that specific subdivision. Do they oversee the projects appropriately? Were they detail oriented? That is usually more of an indicator of quality of build. Now, I mean, there are definitely some builders out there that just throw up a lot of spec homes, like D.R. Horton is an example of that. Sometimes you will find more issues with those, but I've also seen some custom high-end builders where there's been some issues as well. So because of that, if you are building from the ground up, it is really, really important to have a pre-drywall inspection. You can hire a third party. I know a lot of builders will say, hey, we do that. We do the inspections. And sometimes, I mean, they do hire a third party, but they're still the client. You want to pick your own inspector and have them come out and make sure everything's okay. Because those are the things that, it's like the skeletons in the closet that you don't know is an issue until something breaks, if it's like a plumbing or electrical issue. So that's definitely something I always recommend. Now, if it's a home that's the drywall's already up, you aren't going to tear down walls, of course. Still always recommend having a third party inspector come out. I know it's, a couple $100 or, depending on the size of the home, $400 to $600. But it's worth it just to make sure that everything's okay. Because, I had one where the AC unit wasn't working. And, we postponed closing. They fixed it. Everything was all copacetic. It was good. But if they moved out and had that issue and had to deal with the home warranty company, it probably would have been a much bigger headache than, dealing with it before closing. The other big thing about new construction too is if you want a real estate agent to represent you, help negotiate, navigate the inspections, that sort of thing, or even like if there's an issue with an appraisal, anything like that, definitely make sure they're there with you the very first visit you go to these communities. Because if you go and register at one of these communities without an agent, you're actually forfeiting your right to any sort of representation. And just keep in mind that sales rep, a lot of them are great. I'm friends with a lot of them, but they have a fiduciary duty to represent the builder, not you. So just keep in mind, particularly if you're new to the area or new to new construction, I would highly recommend having the agent there just to protect you. And another thing I just want to bring up too, because I try to be as honest and transparent as possible. So you know how I told you that path that takes you to downtown Gilbert, it's called the Powerline Trail. It's called that because there are power lines. Actually, I don't know. Let me turn this around so you can see some of the power lines. So I know some people that really bugs, and it just depends on how the backyard is set up and everything. But that is something before you come here just to be aware of. I would say that's probably the biggest con of this neighborhood. Otherwise, location it's really pretty awesome. And if you want to learn about more neighborhoods, I have a whole playlist. I talk a lot about different neighborhoods in Gilbert, particularly ones that are less known and we don't always see online. So go ahead and check that out. Thank you so much for your time and have a fantastic day.